Call this meeting to order of the City Commission for Rio Grande City. It's Wednesday, April the 11th, approximately 6 p.m. here in Commission Chambers, City Hall, 5332 East US Highway 83, Suite A, here in Rio Grande City, Texas. At this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Jones, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez.
Amen. Thank you, Lord, for getting us here today. Bless the armed forces, police officers, and all those in hard way. Bless the employees and the residents of Rio Grande City. Guide us in the best way to make the best decisions for the residents of Rio Grande City. And all this I ask, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to the flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
This time we'll have roll call and finding a quorum. Ms. Peña?
Mayor Villarreal,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Salinas. Commissioner Salinas is absent. Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
you have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Next business and orders, item 1C, which is reading a proclamation. April is Fair Housing Month, and it's 1C. And it's Rio Grande City Proclamation, whereas Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, prohibits discrimination in housing and declares it a national policy to provide within constitutional limits for fair housing in the United States of America. And whereas the principle of fair housing is not only national policy, but a fundamental human concept and entitlement for all Americans. And whereas the National Fair Housing Law during the month of April provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that complete success in the goal of equal housing opportunity can only be accomplished with the help and cooperation of all Americans. Now therefore, I, Joel Villarreal, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, do hereby proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in Rio Grande City, Texas, and do hereby urge all citizens of this locality to become aware of and support the Fair Housing Law. Next business in order is item 1D, which is reading a proclamation. April is Alcohol Awareness Month. This one seems a little bit longer. Proclamation, Alcohol Awareness Month, Proclamation, NCADD, it is 2018, Changing Attitudes, it's not a rite of passage. Whereas excessive drinking is responsible for more than 4,300 deaths among underage youth each year, and whereas alcohol is the most commonly used addictive substance in the United States, and whereas more than 1.6 million young people report driving under the influence of alcohol in the past year, and whereas young people who begin drinking before age 15 are 4 times more likely to develop alcohol dependence than those who begin drinking at age 21. And whereas drinking by persons under the age of 21 is linked to 189,000 emergency room visits, and whereas the typical American will see 100,000 beer commercials before he or she turns 18, and whereas kids who drink are more likely to be victims of violent crime, to be involved in alcohol-related traffic crashes, and to have serious school-related problems. And whereas a supportive family environment is associated with lowered rates of alcohol use for adolescents, and whereas kids who have conversations with their parents and learn a lot about the dangers of alcohol and drugs use are 50% less likely to use alcohol and drugs than those who don't have such conversations. Therefore, I, Joel Villarreal, now join the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence and Stark County Community Coalition, do hereby proclaim that April 2018 is Alcohol Awareness Month in Rio Grande City. As a mayor of the great city of Rio Grande City, I also call upon all citizens, parents, governmental agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, hospitals, schools, and colleges in Rio Grande City to support the efforts that will provide early education about alcoholism and addiction and increase support for individuals and families coping with alcoholism. Through these efforts, together we can provide hope, help, and healing for those in our community who are facing challenges with alcohol use and abuse. Next business and orders, item 1E, which is reading a proclamation. April is Week of the Young Child. 1E. Rio Grande City proclamation, whereas the South Texas College Child Development Department and the National Association for the Education of Young Children are celebrating the Week of the Young Child from April 16, 2018 through April 20, 2018. And whereas these organizations are working to improve early learning opportunities, including early literacy programs that can provide a foundation of learning for children in Rio Grande City, and whereas teachers and others who make a difference in the lives of young children in Rio Grande City deserve thanks and recognition. And whereas public policies that support early learning for all young children are crucial to young children's futures. Now therefore I, Joel Villarreal, Mayor of the great city of Rio Grande City, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of Rio Grande City, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 16th, 2018 through April 20, 2018 as the Week of the Young Child in Rio Grande City, and urge all citizens to recognize and support the needs of young children in our community and to ensure that all young children enjoy an early childhood that prepares them to take full advantage of their educational opportunities and to become effective citizens, capable workers, and loving parents of the next generation. Thank you. Next business and orders, item 1F, departmental reports. Mr. Perez.
Mr. Guerra.
Hello, Mr. Guerra.
Good evening. How are you, Mayor?
Doing well, sir. Yourself?
Real good, Mayor. Thank you so much. Just, we ought to be aware because the four-way stop on Embassy and Doria is going to be effective date May the 21st, 2018. It's going to be the effective date. We're going to get to the police department involved also to patrol the area once it's effective. So we're going to be patrolling all these areas, Mayor. And I also spoke to TxDOT about that traffic light on 3167 in Eisenhower. They're gonna synchronize it better in order for traffic to flow on Eisenhower. So I've been talking to TxDOT about that also. So just to add a little bit to my report.
How long has the notification been out there on Doria? As far as letting people know that it's a four-way?
I put it for 74 days.
Okay.
74 days. So it's going to be.
That's surely more than enough time?
Yes, sir. It's more than 2 months.
Right.
So I think that's more than enough. It's been advertised in the newspaper. And also that's why I want for the record to show, okay, here on the meeting that it's going to be effective of May the 21st of 2018. So.
Perfect.
We noticed already, Mayor, that the vehicles are stopping there. I go by there almost every day, so, you know. It's got the
So
date
that's
on
good
there,
news, you know,
but
that's
the
real
traffic
good
is
news.
starting
They're
to stop
starting to
there.
obey those stops coming soon, so that's great news.
Perfect. What else is going on, sir?
Sir?
I know you have your hands full, sir.
Citywide cleanup?
The citywide cleanup, it's moving along, yes, sir. We're still working on alleys. We're doing a lot of tree trimming all over the city. You know, of course, it's trimming time for the season
Yeah.
on the trees, but we've been working in a lot of alleys also, Mayor, so we're moving along
Perfect.
on that, and a lot of street patchings, a lot of, you name it, it's out there, Mayor. Drainage is also, so we start getting prepared for hurricane season. So, better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Well, and getting the hit early, hit
Yeah.
the games, particularly since by the time you know it,
By the
someone will
time
be
you know,
right in front of us.
It's June the 1st, so,
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Perales?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good
Good
afternoon.
Morales.
Just to keep you updated of what we've been doing at the Parks and Rec, boys and girls, in our youth basketball, we didn't schedule any games this week due to the start testing. We'll resume it next week. We're halfway through our season in basketball league. We've also started a volleyball at La Gruya Elementary. We had 29 girls register. The games are played Tuesdays and Thursdays at La Gruya High School. And this league will only go for 4 weeks for the month of April. We are registering here. We've already started this week. We should have, it's going to go all the way to May 11th, and we should start in June. So hopefully we can have those little girls in La Gruya and Rio Grande play by summer.
So we have, on that one, it's Roma, Rio Grande, and La Jolla.
No, sir,
that
this
correct
is,
now?
this is elementary. This is elementary.
Okay.
This is elementary.
But the varsity will be, because we're doing varsity as well?
Well, yes, sir. I was going there, but
All
yes,
right.
sir. Yeah. I've been in talks with the Rio Grande City Independent School District's athletic director, Ms. Gomez, and the business office, Ms. Robles Mendez, regarding our youth track event that we host here in June. We're hoping that they continue to provide the Sanchez Stadium for us, especially for this summer, come June 16th. And then we are continuing with our high school volleyball
Okay.
league to begin in May at La Gruya High School. Same 6 schools will be participating: Roma, Rio, La Gruya, and the 3 La Jolla schools: La Jolla High, Palmview, and Juarez Lincoln. And that will begin in May on Wednesday. These games will be played Mondays and Wednesdays of the month of May.
When we're done with basketball, of course, and we can have a recognition for the coaches and the players.
Yes, sir.
That way, just something to consider, which will be done when?
Should be, well, by May.
By May?
We got this whole month of April, and our season should be over already. So our next city council meeting, we'll recognize them.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
On the basketball program for the summer, is it ongoing right now?
For basketball?
Volleyball.
For
Or is for volleyball?
For volleyball, right now, it's elementary for the month of April in La Gruya. Us, we won't start it till June. We won't start till the summer. So it won't interfere with our youth basketball. That's the reason we start a month later.
Very good.
Congratulations with the basketball program. You know, I know I have a team coaching one of the teams there and everything, and pretty much all the teams are pretty evenly matched. You know, so you know it's a great job that you all are doing there. You know, keep up the great work.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
Exposing
sir.
the kids to the program is very important to the upper programs. Once they get into 7th grade and 8th grade, you know, there's a trend there that, you know, the kids have a little bit of knowledge in the fundamentals, you know, so you all are doing, keep up the great work there.
Thank you, sir.
How many teams do you have participating
How many what?
in the basketball?
How many kids do we have participating?
Teams.
Team.
Oh, how many teams? Oh, God, last month. Overall, I think we have like 20, maybe 15 at the most, altogether, because we have boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 20 teams, 15 or 20 teams.
What's the status on the park, on the little shed?
The skate plaza park, the canopy's already been made. The water fountain has been installed as well. As far as the other canopies that were rusted, that JJ Construction has already taken care of that. They've added, what's that, the kind of a tile to cover the rust around the canopies, and all 10 canopies. It should be done by the end of the month, or by next week, hopefully.
Great. Anything else?
As far as our Boys and Girls Club, I would like to give a big thanks to all city departments that donated an Easter basket for second annual Easter at the Park event. I would also like to thank the sponsors that helped provide and contribute for the moon jumps and the dunking booth. Thanks to H-E-B for donating the hot dogs and soft drinks to be passed out to the children and the adults that attended the event. It was a great turnout. We had over 200 kids participate searching for the golden ticket inside the eggs. So we actually passed out maybe like 80 baskets this year. So it was real good. Every year the program keeps getting better and the staff works hard in preparation to make this event a success. I'm sorry.
Anyone find the golden ticket?
How many?
Did anybody find the golden ticket that you hid?
All 80 found them. Yes, sir.
If we can go ahead and send just a personal note or card to those sponsors.
Actually, sir, we're making plaques at the same time. We're
Perfect.
hoping that we can show that appreciation the same way we're going to do the basketball volunteers next month. We're
Perfect.
giving out packs. Yes, sir.
Yes, because I saw in all the baskets that were there in one of the rooms, and it was great to see all the sponsorship that was afforded to the program. So
Yes, sir.
definitely good work, sir.
It's getting better and it's growing. So it's our second annual. Hopefully next year will be a lot more activities to do.
Just like the commercial says, sir, we want more.
Yeah.
But no, thank you, sir. Certainly look forward to next year's as well.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Mr. Morales.
Ms. Hernandez?
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
Commission.
Hello, Ms. Hernandez. Aye.
For the tourism department, we have a lot of upcoming events. As Ms. Peña mentioned right before we started the meeting, there's gonna be a grand opening tomorrow for the Capilla del Rio. They did reach out to us and wanted city representation, county representation there. We're gonna have to look for this place. It's in Garciasville, apparently. We saw some of the pictures on Facebook and Instagram, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. It has a small chapel, a mansion in there. So I'm hoping through the tourism department that this turns into a destination wedding location, and that will help us attract hotel stays and boost, sales in the city. Also, an event coming up on May 12th. I'm working with the Crime Stoppers in the tourism department, and we want to do an event on the north side trails. This is where 83 and the hospital road is at, but on the north side, where we would have some kite flying and the color rain dash and just a family event right before school ends. I know this year we would always do the color rain dash in April, so me and Anna decided to work on this event together. That'll be on May 12th. So it'll be the color rain dash, the kite flying event will have food and music, and it'll be just a nice family day. And we like that location. We've tried the 61 acres before, but I want to try this location because it's more visible. It's right off of the 83. Also, for the Freedom Fest, we have some really good news. We were approached by somebody, and we met. Mr. Jones was able to meet with them as well. I don't know if you've ever heard of Big House Burgers in Kingsville, or if you've seen it there in Kingsville, but they put on these really big softball tournaments. So they want to have a softball tournament, a car show, a rodeo, live music. Solido's also working with them. And we're looking at a 3-day event. So on Friday would be the rodeo, Saturday and Sunday would be the softball and baseball tournament, and Saturday would be the main day where we have the live music, the kiddie carnival, the car show. So we're really excited to be able to partner with somebody like this because it helps us build on the Freedom Fest event and make it large. They're gonna get all the sponsors. We talked about the fireworks and possibly moving it to that day. But that will be a 3-day event, so we are expecting, we have some overnight stays, and these teams that they work with for the softball are traveling teams, so they are teams that are coming from the outside in, so that's really good for us. Also,
What dates are we looking at?
we're looking at June 29th, June 30th, and July 1st, so it's basically the weekend right before 4th of July. Mhm. And also, we, Mr. Perez and myself got into final negotiations with Christopher Julian, which is the one that put on the fajita cook-off last year. So we can confirm that it is going to take place October 20th. And this time around, we are gonna split the event, so we're gonna help out a little bit more. We saw how great the event was. It was organized, successful. It brought in also a lot of people in to see, you know, the Telemundo novela star that they brought. So we're hoping to kind of do the same thing, but provide a little bit more assistance to him so we can get a bigger turnout. And also, we have been working on the Real Review, doing a new template. So Mayor, you and the Psychology Club were on our first new season of the Real Review with the trash pickup. And we released another video today to highlight the art walk that is also taking place tomorrow. So we want to be able to do more videos because we were doing like a once a week with several. So, and we also changed the style of it so that it would be more friendly for Instagram or Snapchat. So we are able to promote these happenings in Rio Grande City, not just on Facebook, but on these other social media outlets. So that's been working really good. And also just want to notify the public, the RGC-TV channel has moved yet again. So we were channel 12, 17, 95-12, and I finally found it, and we're channel 1300. But we're there. So we will be putting a notice out to the public.
I too had a difficult time finding
Right?
it. Yes,
I mean, imagine, I started on
especially-
channel 2 until I got 1300.
But to be
I
clear,
found-
it's 1300 on
It's
Spectrum
1300,
TV.
and I'm hoping that is our last resting place for a while, and
And
that will continue.
we're gonna have to buy a box like the
We're gonna have to do something.
they changed the media to.
And we noticed that it's a little bit more confined, it's not a widescreen, so Christian and myself are gonna have to work on figuring out how we're gonna produce these videos now because it's not showing it as a full screen, it's more of a compressed file, but that's something that we'll work on.
Okay.
Either way, Christian has continued to put up the videos. He already has the State of the City video up on the channel. Also, the ribbon cutting that they did at STC is also already on the channel, our latest meeting. So we're still updating the channel regularly. And everything that's on the channel is also on our YouTube channel as well, so that's really good. And I think that's it for now. The museum also has some exciting news. We've been doing the fundraiser and we are at 50%. So we've collected $5,000 of our $10,000 goal. That's already been deposited. We still have a lot of bricks promised. So we are expecting to get the full $10,000 and they should start working on putting those bricks already by next week. So we're really excited about that. The museum will also have a Mother's Day event and we're in early talks with the public library because they also do a Mother's Day event to kind of join and do those events together. Because we want to have the mariachi and do something nice for our madrecitas here in Rio Grande on May 10th. And I think that's it. The museum is already open. We want to do a grand opening and we're going to do a little bit of work to the exterior as well to kind of draw in some visual interest to the outside because the inside is really nice. So we want to be able to get as many people in there to see it. And that
We want to
is it.
say great work with the videos, Christian,
you.
yourself, Mr. Morin. The videos and the production for the State of the City address, it went very well and
I'm
they were,
glad.
yes, they were, looked very nice. And again, the production team, excellent job.
Yes.
Of course, what you all continue to do with the social media and continue to promote that. So,
Yes, as much
thank
as
you.
we can promote the city, that's our goal to put out all the good things that the city that the city has done and continues to do, that the public knows that. We want to make sure that they know it as quickly as possible, which is why we changed that setup for the Real Review. So as news is happening, we can produce a video and have it out there as soon as possible. So it all helps to show and promote the city.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity as well to recognize the Star Sight Club from STC for their efforts in beautifying our city. Last Saturday, they had the Adopt a Highway program and went around town, well, at least within their mile radius or 2 miles, picking up trash. And it's a group of kids, a group of college students trying to give back to the community in some way, shape, or form. So to Mr. Sarabia, Eli Sarabia and Alex Sarabia for their work in promoting that beautification. And I extend that to the rest of the residents and community to keep our city beautiful and, of course, not littering, which there was a PSA done as well for that purpose, is to promote the beautification of our city. So again, to the Star Sight Club, thank you for the work that you all have done. Moving on to, or anyone else, Mr. Perez?
Mr. Milan?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Mr. Milan, how are you, sir?
Doing great. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some of the members of the Historic Preservation Commission, Ms. Beatrice Brossing, Mr. Joel Garza, and Ms. Frances Garza, we have in the audience. Absent is the chairman, Ms. Leah Sainz, Mr. Leopoldo Trevino, and R.C. Salinas. So he tried to make it, but anyways, back in the mid-90s, back then the Board of Aldermen declared as a matter of public policy the protection, enhancement, and preservation and perpetuation of landmarks or districts of historical, architectural, archaeological, or cultural importance and significance is a necessity to promote the economic, cultural, educational, and general welfare of the public, and hereby created a commission to be known as the Rio Grande City Historic Preservation Commission. Some of the duties: to adopt a criteria for designation of historic and cultural landmarks, recommend the designation of resources as landmarks and historic districts to the Board of Aldermen, increase public awareness of the value of historic, cultural, and architectural preservation, and approve or disapprove application for certificates of appropriateness. Therefore, in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, the National Park Service, the United States Department of the Interior congratulates the city of Rio Grande City, Texas, on being a certified local government and partner in the Federal Preservation Program since July 1st, 2002. It's a recognition straight from the government to the city and the commission.
Fantastic. Do we have, of course, the commission members, if you'd like to say a few words before we acknowledge this nice award? Any and all members are welcome to say a few words.
We're very pleased with the award, but first of all, I personally would like to thank the city commissioners and, of course, Mr. Vian. He leads us, and we're very proud of the work that we do. We're very proud of our city, and we would like to have more people interested in preserving our history and our buildings, and we would just like to see everyone get more involved in it. We're really, really proud of our city, and we want to beautify it, and it's a gem. We have so many things here that, in working with the museum also, we have people coming here and telling us, I didn't know you had this, you know. And what you have here, you can't find anywhere else in the valley. So we are unique, and we're very proud of the work that we've done, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brase. Any of the other members would like to say a few words?
Mr. Garza?
But I need a crane to get up, so.
We can hear you from there.
You know, I think the Preservation Commission is a great group of individuals that we forget the amount of history that is here in Rio Grande and surrounding areas. We take it for granted. And we have to make sure that we preserve all this for current and future generations. I remember growing up just like in Fort Ringo, we just said, oh, these old buildings, you know, tear them down. But as we get older, we start really thinking in detail about how important and the history surrounding Rio Grande, how it started and has expanded, but still maintained that charm of what the city was built on by the founding fathers. So I think it's an exciting thing to be able to continue those efforts, and hopefully we'll do much better as the years go by.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Anyone else, commission members?
Well, I just want to agree with what my friends here have told us about us, maintaining our integrity, our beautification of our city, and we're proud to be a part of it. And we just hope to continue maintaining our history and keep it beautiful, keep it clean, and make it presentable to all our find out, about our historical past and what all our city represents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have the commission members come forward? We can take a photograph.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
And before you continue, Ms. Just again, I cannot say enough for the commissions that volunteer your time and effort and again, giving back to the community, and I cannot say enough about all the commissions that serve the city of Rio Grande City. And without those commissions, the job would be a lot more difficult. But when you have caring individuals that are willing to give back, again, especially of their time, to make Rio Grande City a better place to live, to work, and to enjoy life, is again, cannot say enough of the importance of that. So thank you very much for the work that you do. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you going to top that, Ms. Guillen? I'm just kidding.
I can't, but I agree with you on the volunteer work of our boards and commissions. And as I've said before, the Rio Grande City EDC Board of Directors is taking the initiative to review and bring up to date the strategic plan of Rio Grande City when it comes to the economic development strategies. Back in '98, Rio Grande City came together for Rio 2020, and we're kicking off that conversation again with the public on April 21st, right here at City Hall. We're inviting participants, the public, to come and tell us what's important to them. Obviously, we identified what those needs were back then, but many things have happened since 1998, and so we need to go back in there and look at what we've accomplished, what's still relevant in this day, and where we need to direct our attention to in the future. And so you have with you this informational flyer, which we've also distributed to the public via social media, and we hope to engage as many people as possible. We're making it available to individuals online by a survey as well. We'll solicit all these comments and interpret all that data so that we can bring it back to the commissioners with a plan, a sound plan that will move us forward in our economic development strategies for the city. So,
in fact, looking forward to it, many individuals have already commented and into the public, and it's April the 21st. Here's the opportunity to engage and give us your ideas, the input as far as where we want the city to go, and of course planning for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And it's important that people get involved. So again, the invitation is open to all members of the community, business, organizations, of course residents, the public, private sectors, educational, medical, because at the end of the day, we need to plan for our future, and what better opportunity to do it now. So again, invite all public members, the public in general, just come on out and be part of this Great endeavor.
Thank you, Mayor. We also have some panelists, while they're not mentioned in this particular flyer, we have panelists that will discuss with us some topics in relation to our cultural assets, as we talked about with historical preservation, transportation, industries, and workforce skill set for our community. So we invite the community to come forward and hear us out, hear our panelists, and deliver their ideas and their comments to us so that we can take everyone's information together for a report this summer.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Ms. Guillen. Again, April the 21st from 9 to 3 here at City Hall.
Mayor, Commissioners, I apologize, I did not get my report in on time, but just quickly, I do want to tell you, we did have 2,350 people visiting our library last month. We've got Paseo del Arte coming up tomorrow. We have El Día del Niño coming up on April the 26th, and we already have several people lined up and prizes for the kids and a lot of games and activities. We also have a program, we are partnering up with Wesley Nurse. This is with the Methodist Healthcare, and what they got monies to help people that are diabetic, especially those that are uninsured, ages 19 to 64. We've already met, we had a health overview at the library. They'll be meeting with a group on a regular basis there, and then we're gonna have another program for the general public. But right now, we do have 8 members signed up, and they're also gonna have a health fair coming up on May the 4th at the Methodist Church. But it's a great partnership, and I think it's something we really want to promote, because I know that there are a lot of people out there that are uninsured that could benefit from this program. We have on April the 20th, we'll have a school aids to elementary school, to student council will be coming for Earth Day, and they'll be planting flowers at the library. Our next Paseo del Arte will be on May the 3rd. On May the 10th, we have our Mother's Day program. We have the Ringgold Middle School mariachis already set up. We might be changing things a little bit because we're going to be partnering up with the museum on this particular event. Our summer reading program, it's Libraries Rock. It's promoting music. We have our Fun Friday programs from the RGC Drumline. The Lippin Apache dancers will be coming, Extreme Cheer, and the Stark County Got Talent group. This will be our Friday events. We usually follow up that with the school district's lunch. And so our summer reading program will start at the beginning of June. So that's what we have.
With 35,000 visitors last year, Ms. Foltz, have the doors fallen off yet?
We do need a new door. We're going to need a new door soon. We attended the Texas Library Association conference last week, Letty and I, and again, they've continued to ask us to be a part of some important committees, and we did a presentation. I'll be in another presentation at the next meeting, and it's great that they feel that Rio Grande City has something to offer for public libraries, just as much as the bigger libraries do. I'll just tell you quickly, the McAllen
We're at the top 10%, Ms. Foltz. Of course, we're at the top with the larger municipalities, so again, I know we mentioned that already a couple of times, but can't say it enough.
We
Good
truly
work.
appreciate it. Just to give you an example, McAllen Public Library took 8 of their librarians, because they have departments within the department. So they have a school librarian, teen librarian, children's librarian. So I'm very proud of my staff, as you all know, and of course of your support. Thank you very much, and I hope that you'll be able to attend some of our events. This is National Library Week. I encourage you all to come to the library and give us a little bit of time and let us show you the amount of things that we have to offer online and they're present at the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz.
Appreciate it. We're good?
We're good.
All right. Next business and orders, item 2, consent agenda, which is letter A, approval of departmental travel request, letter B, approval of minutes from previous meetings, and approval, and letter C, approval of action taken on the meeting of the Kelsey Bass Museum and Event Center Commission held on April 3rd, 2018. Anything for consent agenda? On the travel request, there was nothing, right? There was,
No, sir.
okay. Okay, do we entertain a motion? Do you want to?
I so move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Garza to approve consent agenda. That includes items letter A, B, and C.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed. Motion carries. Next, business and orders item 3, resolutions, letter A, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2018-10 that will approve a change to the voting location for the city of Rio Grande City, May 5th, 2018. General election from Kelsey Bass Museum Meeting Room, 101 South Washington Street, Rio Grande City, Texas, to Commissioner's Courtroom, Starr County Courthouse, 401 North Britain Avenue, Rio Grande City, Texas, 78582, and ratifying the same changes to be applied to ordinance 2018-1 previously passed and approved on March 28, 2018. Any comments
No,
on that,
Mayor,
Ms. Bailey?
Commissioner, this is just a correction on the address. So instead of because on the last one, we had the City Hall, building to the Commissioner's Court, but the correction was from Kelsey Bass to the Commissioner's Court.
Okay. Okay, do we entertain a motion at this time? or-
Also move, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed? Motion carries. Next business and orders item 3B, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2018-11, finalizing election judges for May 5th, 2018. It's 3B.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is a resolution to finalize the election judges. Your election judges are the ones named on the resolution.
Okay.
And it's just informing you about the central counting station, who will be your presiding judge, the central counting station manager, the tabulation supervisor, and the clerks. The clerks were previously approved in the ordinance for the elections.
All right. Any questions, Commission?
No, I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve
I'll
by
second the motion.
Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed? Motion carries. Next business and orders item 4A, City Manager's Report. Presentation of water and wastewater rate study compiled by Jeff Snowden of CAPEX.
Mayor got
Mr.
Mr. Snowden. He's gonna do a presentation on his study. He's been working closely with Ms. Beas and looking at our rates.
Do you need a screen, Jeff?
Do you have hard copies, or do you have,
They have
would you
hard
like me to go overhead with it, or would you like me to just talk about the numbers?
We have hard copies.
Okay, I'm glad to just run through the study.
That's fine.
And the rates I'm recommending are not to be effective until October 1, so we have plenty of time if you would like to make any changes to the recommendations. I'll run through the slides quickly in the interest of your time. You have asked me to look at your water rates and your operating budget and your debt service and give you recommendations where you can maintain affordable rates and still generate the revenue you need to operate. In light of the fact that you don't have any debt planned for the foreseeable in the next couple of years, that helps us quite a bit. So the rates that I'm recommending are some of the most modest I've ever recommended. The average customer's monthly combined water and sewer bill would be impacted by less than $1 per month. So I'm recommending a 5-year series of rate increases. Year 1, their monthly bill goes up by a little less than $1. Year 2, it goes up by a little less than $1. Higher volume users for 10,000 gallon customers, they would go up by $1.35. Very, very modest rate increases. And these rates that I'm recommending would allow your water system and sewer system to generate enough money to pay your operating costs, pay your debt, and have a modest amount left over for capital improvements. But it by no means makes your system a cash register. It continues to be a lean operation like it is today. That's the summary of my residential rate recommendations. Your city manager did ask me to do some additional work. Your wholesale customers, specifically El Tanque and El Saus, they do receive a significant subsidy. And I'll give you an example. If you did an all-in blended rate of how much per 1,000 gallons your residential customers pay today, it's $5.11. per 1,000 gallons. Commercials pay about $4.80. El Tonka and El Saus pays $2.12 per 1,000 gallons. They use a lot. Each one uses 7 million gallons a month, so they use a lot, but they are definitely subsidized. So the question was, what would it take for them to come up to a rate where they would pay their full cost of service? And the answer to that is a percentage increase of about 9% each year for the 5 years. So to put that in dollar terms, that would take their current monthly bill, which is the average monthly bill for their 7 million gallons of consumption is about $15,000. That would need to change to about $16,000 in year one, and then an additional $2,000 each year thereafter. In the end, their blended rate would be $3.80 a thousand. I apologize, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you, but I want to give you the tools. Right now, they do receive a modest subsidy, and we've actually at $2.20. That's significantly higher than it was when you first had me do your rates 10 years ago. So we've gradually brought them up, but if you wanted to end the subsidy, it would take them in essence from $2.20 now to $3.80 over 5 years. And that would actually make the rates I'm recommending for residential even smaller. Probably 80 cents a month. So what I've done is give you a summary of my recommendations. All the slides that I've presented are the backup, and they're number heavy. And as you recall, you also hired me to look at your solid waste rates, and my plan is to come back with those recommendations in 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And so depending on if you'd like me to answer any specific questions tonight.
Well, when you say modest, relative to what?
Relative, sir, to, I'm going to have to go by memory, but I think the first time that I made recommendations to you, to your commission, I think that the average impact was about $2.80 on the monthly bill. And if you check that number, I suspect it won't be perfect, but it should be close. And the recommendations now are less than $1. So you've kind of already taken on, you've already made serious corrections to your rate structure to where we don't really need to make a huge jump now to continue to leave your water and sewer system self-sufficient. You're a unique system in that your water sewer is not subsidized by the general fund and property taxes. It pays its own way. There's not a lot of systems that are like that.
So but that's an increase of $1 per year for the next 5 years?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm recommending, which is similar. This would be the third time. So initially, I think I came out here in 2006 and made a 5-year rate recommendation adopted each year by ordinance. We went through that. Then we did a second series, and that series, the 5th year, will be October. September 30, the new rates will come in, and so what I'm providing is a system which will carry you through 2023.
Okay. In the rate study that you did here in Rio Grande, compared to, I'm pretty sure you've done other rate studies in the valley. How do you compare ours to theirs as far as your recommendation?
You, here in Rio Grande City, I've got a slide here for residential and commercial. And I looked at 19 cities in the valley. You're right in the middle for residential, and you're one below the middle for commercial. So you, by any measure, you're a very good value throughout the entire Rio Grande Valley. I included Laredo, Zapata, but all the other cities are here in the valley.
Page 12, Commissioner.
What page is that?
12.
See it here in the graph, it's page 19.
That's the residential, and the further behind is a commercial.
Yeah. 12 is for 5,000 gallons of metered consumption. Your average is 6,200 gallons, so that's very close to what your average bill is here for your residents. Okay.
And as far as the rates going into effect, that would be I mean, if we were to move on that, we're looking at what,
October,
October, sir.
October?
yes.
Effective October 1, and I'm glad to prepare the ordinance for your legal counsel to review, and I'll be back to present. And it's not uncommon for you as elected officials to say, put some more on commercial, less on residential. It's pretty low already, but my point is I'm glad to make changes based on staff and commission request.
You indicated the commercial is a little lower than the average or normal around the valley. I mean, and what you're recommending is still in line with what you're saying?
Yes, sir, but you're just below, this is on slide, excuse me.
Is it 25?
Yes, this is actually, slide 19 is commercial.
19?
And you'll see that the average valley-wide for 50,000 gallons of water sewer service is $344. You're at 317, so you're just below the
Below
average.
the average.
One question that I want to ask is, the rates that we have right now, that we're selling the water rates to Real Water Supply and at Duncan, are those rates reasonable or?
We're subsidizing.
They're very low, Commissioner.
Yeah.
$2.12 a thousand. Sorry to interrupt, go
Are
ahead.
you giving us a recommendation what we need to do on that?
Yes, sir, I would recommend that, I gave you a series of recommendations in the study that they go up by about 3.5% a year. It's based on my prior experience with the commission. I identified this 10 years ago, and at that time the response was, it's not that big of a dollar amount, it's about $170,000 a year. Let's leave it, let's bring them up slowly, and that's what we've done. But the subsidy is still there. So it's my job to give you the number to end the subsidy and
Yeah, my question to him was, our challenge was, how can we get away from subsidizing those other water